I'm a big fan of repressing your emotions, keeping them bottled up and not showing them to anyone. I am.
And ultimately giving yourself cancer.
It's unhealthy to show your emotions. Bottle them up and be British.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Keep calm, carry on, and whatever you do not cry.
Do not have a sort of breakdown in front of your wife or something. Women don't want to see men crying. Women want to see strong men who can hold them. If your woman thinks that you showing weakness and kind of vulnerability is a good thing, then get rid of her. Yeah. Seriously. You don't want that. I do.
We're not allowed to swear, but off. Are you happy and contented? Well, we've got just the thing for you, grumpy old men.
Good morning.
All right.
Afternoon. Now, you're kicking off with tourists.
Tourists, yeah.
Go on then, tell us about tourists.
I've had enough of them. Everywhere I go,
yeah.
I'm stuck behind a tourist, right? You come off the train, they're standing, they get off the train, they stop, they don't move. You have to push past them. They don't know what they're doing. They're standing at the top of the escalator.
It is central London, though, Mike.
Yeah, but what are they doing here?
Well, they've come to see our rich and glorious capital.
Well, why are they on the tube then?
Well, that's the easiest way to get around.
Shouldn't they be on those buses? I've never seen so many buses, right?
Open-top bus.
I took a taxi the other day because I had to go and see somebody in Holborn, right? Sorry,
I don't think you've grabbed Mike with this one.
Yeah.
Kev.
Yeah, he's got some stuff to attend to.
Sorry, you talked about fins last night. As soon as you mentioned fins, I just zoned out.
You're making another doctor's appointment. Here's the thing.
More of that later.
Yeah. So I get on the. I nearly swore there. It says no swearing. I get on this taxi from Waterloo Station. I'm going to Holborn, right?
Yeah.
We're held up for ages because they've shut the tunnel, and I couldn't actually get off the taxi because as we pulled up into Holborn Kingsway, as it's known, there was one after another coach parked in the bus lane, right?
Nose to tail.
So then, nose to tail, and there must have been 7 of them. So the taxi driver said, "Sorry, mate, I can't drop you here because I can't pull into the curb." And I'm like, "Well, just drop me now where you are." He said, "No, I can't do that. It's not allowed." He said, "I'll have to wait till I can find a spot to drop you." So he dropped me literally almost as far away from where I was going from than I was in Waterloo Station. I might as well have just walked, right? And there were 7 coaches, and they're all bloody tourist coaches. And they're all...
How do you want tourists to get around, Mike?
This tourists coming to London. When did it first start? I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have heard of it, obviously.
Is it a new thing?
Yeah,
it's a new thing.
Tourism.
It's happened post-Brexit.
That's extraordinary.
Post-Brexit, we have tourism.
I'll tell you what's the new thing, is the numbers of tourists that are coming here.
Before, we had a workforce.
I want to know why, because I've got an inquiring mind, and I'm interested in why. You can explain to me why there are 7 times as many tourists now than there used to be.
But is it not supporting our ailing economy?
What are the numbers?
What are the figures will prove it.
What are the numbers? What are the figures?
Do you know how many people come here every year?
I'm not saying. I deny that.
Are we talking about on a plane or in a small boat?
There are 7 million tourists that come to Britain every year. I'm not joking. Right?
Are you confusing migrants with tourists?
No, they're not tourists. No,
they get these nice hotels.
They get free hotels, right? These are people that come on coaches.
Well, hold on a second.
Coaches,
right? Okay.
7 million of them a year.
7 million.
It used to be about 2 million.
They spend a load of money and then they go home. What's wrong with them?
Because they get in the way. That's what's wrong with them. I can't get a taxi to where I want to go because of them. I can't get on the tube because of them. The madness that they create.
I love a tourist. I've got to be honest.
Can't get in a restaurant.
Very good for business. Home sliced pizza.
What are you, some kind of globalist?
Central London. You'll find us either at Cannon Street or in Neal's Yard in Covent Garden.
Are you some kind of globalist?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying they're very good for business because the locals...
You banned them, we'd come.
As locals, we have no money anymore.
Yeah, because we can't afford to pay the prices that you charge. Yeah. So you have to bring the idiot grockles in who will pay any kind of money because they think they're getting some kind of authentic English experience.
And long may they continue.
Pizza.
Kevin.
Sorry.
You're upset about...
The show's called Grumpy Old Men.
No, and you are fantastically grumpy. Round of applause.
Tourists are annoying.
Get rid of them.
Good.
Yeah, get
Mike's got a point.
Yeah.
However, Kevin is upset by men who cry.
Yeah. especially
is.
Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Did you see him last
Yeah.
year? So Donald Trump
an absolute plank.
giving him a hard time. I've got your back. We'll continue to have your back. Yeah, you've got everyone's back, haven't you, Justin? As long as they're not truckers in a convoy that you're nicking their money and freezing their bank accounts because they won't take COVID jabs.
Yeah.
So you can do one. You looked as ridiculous as all other men look when they cry. They go, oh, it's really important that men should show their emotions. It was wrong during those years when everybody bottled up their emotions.
What other snivelling men have bothered you, Kev? What other snivelling men have bothered you?
Well, all the, when they cry at awards ceremonies.
Do you remember the guy from the Munich Security Conference? He cried.
Yeah.
The guy, after J.D. Vance, the German. He was a German diplomat, right? He was formerly at one point, I think, the UN ambassador for Germany, right? Yes. And he burst into tears. This is very difficult for me.
But isn't that nice, a German finally expressing some emotion?
Well, I'd rather they were crying than shooting people, I suppose. But, you can't have everything in life, can you?
Yeah. Don't we live in an age, Kev, where you're supposed to express your emotion?
Have you ever cried? Do you not cry?
When do you cry?
I suppose I have in my time. But when I was at school, a long time ago, if we cried, we got hit. So we were told, don't cry.
Explains a lot.
We were told, don't cry, it's not manly. So if we ever cried, some teacher would hit us.
Right.
So I got it kind of beaten out of me.
But what was the last thing that made you cry?
I tell you what does make me cry. It's like I'm not saying I'm necessarily I'm a hard man, but this is a hard man. But this is a common syndrome. The toughest, most cynical men don't cry at human tragedy or anything like that, but they do cry at Little House on the Prairie.
Really?
Silly, sentimental TV shows.
You don't cry at that, do you?
Not really, but I do a bit.
Not really? He cries at Little House on the Prairie.
I do actually. I cry at
Laura Ingalls upsets you that much?
Yeah.
I tend to cry more when I'm drunk.
Yes, weeping into your
you get very emotional.
rosé.
Yeah, if you are watching, say, for example, Casablanca.
Yeah.
Right. The final scene, or one of the final scenes, when our troubles don't matter, row of beans and all that. When he says goodbye to Ilsa and she goes off with the bloke, that's quite upsetting.
No, I just think.
But that depends on how much rosé you've had.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's not real tears.
Collaborator, isn't he?
He's also wearing those ridiculous shoes, which doesn't help.
I just think it's a bad look. And I did.
Men should not cry in public.
Well, I don't
I grew
necessarily.
up in an age where we were told not to, and I think things were better then. I'm a big fan of repressing your emotions, keeping them bottled up, and not showing them to anyone. I am.
And ultimately giving yourself cancer.
It's unhealthy to show your emotions. Bottle them up and be British.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Keep calm, carry on, and whatever you do, not cry.
Do not have a sort of breakdown in front of your wife or something at some point.
Well, only when we're watching Little House on the Prairie.
Hold on. You're both dog lovers. What about if the dog went?
If the dog goes, bloody hell, yeah.
That might be a bit.
I
must have.
That's not even something we like talking about.
Yeah.
We don't even want to think about that, do we?
No, but my wife's not a crier either, and she's a woman.
Yeah. Well, she's been living with you for
You think she'd be crying?
You think she'd be
What
upset?
about if your football team loses?
I just get angry then.
Okay.
Usually when you're supposed to be crying, I'm just furious.
That's a good one, actually. Football supporters who cry are embarrassing. They shouldn't do it. They should not do it. You see them after teams have been relegated. Oh, it's an awful.
But I can't think.
Shut up.
There was sometimes crying. Sometimes crying works to your advantage, though, doesn't it? Doesn't crying sometimes work to your advantage?
Well, for women, yes, but not for men. I don't know of any man who's ever gained an advantage by crying. Women don't want to see men crying. Women want to see strong men who can hold them and convince them that they are, in fact, if your woman thinks that you showing weakness and kind of vulnerability is a good thing, then get rid of her. Yeah. Seriously, you don't want that.
See, Justin Trudeau proved himself. This is what you don't want as your national leader.
Yeah, you don't want your leader to cry.
He proved himself to be a gamma male. And what you want as your leader is an alpha male.
Is it beta male?
Gamma, I think. And I think Keir Starmer's a gamma male as well.
He is, yeah.
Donald Trump's an alpha.
Gammon male.
Gammon male.
Great big cider ham.
If only. We'd have a better country if he was a gammon. He's a feeble, weak, woke idiot.
Right, so if any of you are crying out there, stop. Stop now.
Yeah.
Or we'll hit you.
Yeah, we'll hit you and tell you to man up. Right.
Brilliant.
I've got a little bit of a digital complaint again this week. Voice note.
I like a voice note.
Wow.
I do.
We're not allowed to swear, but off.
Can you put that in a voice note, please?
Put that in a voice note. If I wanted to have a conversation with you, I'd call you up.
Would you?
But it's like, all right, look, I take it.
Right.
If you're driving in the car, for example.
Yes.
Quick voice note to say, I'll be home in 10.
Yeah.
Right? But people who leave, any voice
Long
note
ones.
over 30 seconds.
No, that's a no-no.
What is wrong with you?
That's definitely a no-no. You're right.
I go straight delete.
Yeah.
If it says more than 30 seconds.
No, I'm with you on that.
And I might even delete their number.
But hang on, you're only against long voice notes then?
Yes.
The reason I like them is because on my show, we play a lot of voice notes and people send in voice notes. And they're very
I bet you don't play ones over 30 seconds.
And we try not to. They're very creative.
Sometimes do that.
They're very funny. They're very, they sometimes write poetry. They sometimes sing a little song.
Your listeners are that culture.
They're very, very creative. Yeah, they're absolutely amazing.
Surprised me.
We've curated them over the years.
You get a lot that you can't play on air.
Do any of them cry into a voice note?
I don't think I've ever heard a crying voice note.
I mean,
there's nothing worse.
But there's a new development.
There's nothing worse than a woman leaving you endless voice notes either. Right. I mean, a woman you're in a relationship with.
I see. As opposed to just random women.
I mean, I don't get them from random women.
Or an ex-wife, maybe.
Yeah. But if you get them from a woman, sometimes they don't know when to stop talking.
But that's the thing. It's that becomes a stream of consciousness because you're existing in this bubble on your own. You think the minute you hit that little microphone symbol, you can wang on endlessly.
I mean, my daughter likes to leave me a voice note, and she's very good at it. It's very funny. But obviously, if I'm on the air, I can't listen to it. I always say to her, I can't. There's no point you sending me a bleeding voice note.
Is Kev leaving a voice note over there?
I don't know what he's doing. Are you still trying to get an appointment with the doctor?
No.
I mean, you go for ages.
I've got an appointment with the doctor, but there's more to that story.
I mean, we can leave voice notes behind and talk about Kev's doctor's appointment.
Could you leave a voice note for the doctor? I mean, we talk about AI all the time, don't we? The NHS. Yeah. Could you just not ring them up and go, excuse me, I'd like an appointment tomorrow morning at 7:30. What can you do?
Well, hold on.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one because we're talking about fake doctors.
Fake doctors.
Come on.
Now, fake doctors. Now, I'm not talking about people that pretend to be doctors. Like the people who pretend to be, qualified to.
I'm a doctor of nutrition.
Operate on you. No, but I'm talking about exactly that. The people who have what they think are a doctorate qualification. I've got a PhD in economics. I call myself a doctor. Yeah. Well, you're not a bloody doctor. No. Don't call yourself that. You're only a doctor, in my view, if you actually have a medical qualification, are able to operate on people, are able to cut people open and fix them. You are not.
Well, no, you're a surgeon then, aren't you?
Well, it's the doctor.
For example, technically, you are a doctor if you've got a PhD in anything.
Yes, I know, but anyone who calls themselves doctor just because they've got a PhD, I think is pompous beyond belief.
I call myself doctor and I haven't got a PhD.
Yeah,
a lot of people. Dr. Kev will see you now. Just pop your pants off.
TV Kev, you
hop up on the couch and I'll be right with you.
Dr. Kev. Step into my surgery. I'll sort you right out. Here are the stirrups.
But I mean, you're right. Mike is absolutely right. People who are
they're
not
always
medical
pompous.
They're pompous. Yeah, it is a very pompous thing.
And
to
the
do.
thing that I love to do, whenever they rip the pee out of me, which is what they often do on social media because they don't like something I've said.
Oh, not as a procedure?
For some reason, I have a reputation on social media for being an idiot.
Really?
Now, I don't know why they've got this impression.
I don't know where that's come from.
I don't know.
Blimey.
But the point is that normally, if I'm attacked by a fake doctor, I call them out for being a fake doctor, and they absolutely hate it.
I know the one you mean.
Yeah,
I know the one you mean. That Geordie woman.
Yeah, the Geordie woman is one. There are others as well.
Hold on,
are you all right there?
My ear's fallen.
This is professional.
Hang on. Something's fallen over here.
No.
How did it go all the way over there?
I don't know how it went all the way over there, but it flew out me here.
The more pompous they are, the more upset they get if you call them out for being a fake doctor. And they go, I'm entitled to call myself a doctor. I've got a PhD in, ancient Sanskrit or something. You go, well, that doesn't make you a doctor. You can't fix my broken ankle. Yeah. You can't sort out my broken nose.
If somebody on a train or a plane goes, is there a doctor on board?
You don't go, I've got a PhD in, science. No, you can't help us then.
Can't help us.
Can you?
Go to the back of the queue.
Exactly. So I'm against fakery in general.
No, but when does a doctor cease to be a doctor? Like, is a chiropodist a doctor?
No. A chiropodist is a foot expert, isn't it?
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's not a doctor.
And similarly, an anesthesiologist is also not a doctor.
Oh, come on, surely.
Right?
You're
They're not.
knocking people out.
No, but they're not doing it because they're doctors. They're doing it just because they like it. They're very dark people, anaesthesiologists, by the way. I don't like them at all.
Surely to be a doctor, in some cases, all you have to do is fill out a form.
Unless you're in the Labour government, of course, in which case just say you're a doctor, and everyone will just go, oh, OK.
Until you really can't say you're a doctor, and then Keir Starmer will sack you.
Dr. Wes Streeting. Yeah, that's why he's in charge of the health department.
Yeah, doing a good job as well.
You don't want to tell us about your doctor
no,
before we move on?
No, my doctor's a real doctor, but I perceive that forms are becoming the scourge of the modern age. That everything you have
online
to do,
ones.
you have to, online or not online. But because of online, I think that's why it's got worse. So I was trying to fill out a form this morning.
What form?
I've got to see the doctor.
Really? What form?
It's to do with insurance. Not only do I have to fill out this 20-page form, and then I have to send it to my GP, who has to fill out the rest of the form.
Why?
In order to get insurance paid. It's just ridiculous.
What are you getting? What are you being insured
Private
against?
medical insurance.
Oh, right. So you're not being insured against something.
So I've got to fill out this massive form, then get my doctor to fill out a massive form, and just everywhere you go,
it's not massive, but it's nearly a foot.
Massive, great forms. Well, it's near enough.
It's a form. How's it massive?
It's
or
a
not
foot,
massive? It's a form.
The form's not a foot long, but it's near enough.
But no, seriously, hang on. What sort of questions are on a 20-page form?
Exactly.
What questions?
Well,
then?
it's
like what?
They ask the same question time and time again.
Right.
You know, what are the symptoms?
You sure you haven't just printed out 20 pages that are exactly the same?
Well, yeah.
You printed out.
Yeah, they are. They keep asking
18 times.
But you know, forms are a serious problem.
Yeah.
And by the way, then you have to sign the forms online.
That's
and
hard,
every single time I have a problem with that. Getting your signature. Yeah. I mean, I do it in the end, but it's such.
But you don't do it on DocuSign.
Yeah, I try all that, but it doesn't work. It works sporadically.
Online, it doesn't matter how many times you go through it and check it. When you press submit, there will be a red box somewhere. Doesn't matter what you do, there will be a red box where you haven't done that properly.
Or you haven't registered your nationality.
It's the digital equivalent of, do you remember when you used to have those forms, like if you were doing a passport?
Yeah.
If you went outside the box with your pen.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that work if you're dyslexic?
Also, if you're doing a picture for your passport, I remember trying to take a picture of one of my children as a baby.
Right.
And we're literally standing on the bed, put the baby on the bed, standing over it like this, trying to get the picture right. And it was a nightmare because they're not supposed to smile. No. They're not supposed to do anything.
You're a grumpy baby.
Yeah, grumpy baby. Yeah. And the baby's looking up going, what the hell are you doing?
But the other thing is, I am never without glasses now. I'm never without a beard.
Right. You wear them to sleep.
I don't know, but the whole point is when you're doing your passport, it's going to take it off.
Yeah,
you have to do
doesn't
that.
look like me
and you
anymore.
don't look like that.
I no longer look like me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, there I am.
But here's another thing about the online form. So you fill them out. It's 285 questions. You laboriously fill it all in.
He's got some proper medical conditions.
No, but you get to the end, don't you? And then you sort of save it and you go back and you have another look and everything is gone.
It's all been wiped off.
It never saves.
Are you sure this is not your problem?
No.
Forms, I mean,
forms are a massive problem.
But we do remember your difficulties with your computer, right? You have told us these stories before. I'm not telling tales out of school.
What about an HMRC form? What about an HMRC form?
Well, they're terrible, aren't they? I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Just get an accountant.
Can I just say?
I don't do those.
Recently, I had to cease trading a certain part of my tiny little empire.
Oh yeah.
It's a 56-page document for each company you're closing. 56-page. And it has to be done by hand. It can't be done online.
So you have to print it out.
You have to print it out, which is terrible for the environment, I understand.
It's not good, no. It's expensive. It's the most expensive liquid in the world is printer ink.
Exactly, printer ink. And I'm sure...
Yeah, more expensive than oil.
And all it was so that then this person gets this document and then they ask you a load of questions that you've already answered on the document.
Right.
Yeah.
Why?
So Forms is quite a good one.
But what about the old people with the winter fuel allowance? The ones who...
That's 265
265 questions.
Yeah, 265 questions.
The scourge of the modern age.
By the time you've answered them all, you'll have frozen to death. Anyway, I want to talk about stupid warning signs.
Yes.
Warning.
So I got into a lift. What has triggered this for me is I got into a lift last week with my good lady wife.
Yes.
And on the lift it said, danger of trapping fingers on a lift door. Well, of course there's
a danger.
Of course there's a danger. Everybody knows that. We don't need a sign to tell us that if you leave your hand there, there's a very good chance it will shut on it.
Right.
Because it's a lift door.
Yes.
But there are a proliferation of these stupid signs.
I get that. Yeah.
Please stand well back. Like, mind the gap.
Right.
How many people fell in the gap?
Have you noticed on the tube now?
Yeah.
Have you noticed on the tube now they've got signs on the platform to tell you where to get on if you've got a wheelchair?
Yeah.
Right? But there's no difference between where they're telling you to get on and the place where they're not telling you to get on. You know, the train isn't higher or lower. No. It's at the same level for the whole train.
Yeah, just
so
get on
why have
there,
they
though.
only got certain places where you get on if you've got a wheelchair?
I don't know.
What's that about?
I don't know what that is about.
I mean, usually
but
it's foreigners standing in the way.
But it's that thing where...
With that ramp, and the staff probably don't want to walk very far.
But is there somewhere in a dusty room in Whitehall a Department of Dumb signs?
Yeah,
where
probably.
they go, we better put a sign together
Yeah.
for that one. Because how many people... I would like to know how many people have actually fallen in the gap that they have to keep making that announcement.
Right. I don't think many people do fall in the gaps.
Mind the gap.
Well,
Mind the gap.
So the warning is working. People aren't falling into the gap because
see,
there's lots of warning.
See, that's the kind of conclusion that is drawn by scientists and data specialists. They go,
Doctors.
well, the fact that
no one's fallen through the gap, this sign's working.
The fact that nobody's fallen through means the sign's a good thing.
So what we've established is that fake doctors are making sure that tourists that you hate don't hurt themselves.
Right, and
Brilliant.
I'd actually be in favour if the tourists from Finland were falling into the gap and getting run over by the train, I'd be more than happy. Although, I suppose they'd have to cancel the trains then. That wouldn't work.
Anyway, that's all for this week. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Kev. Stay grumpy.